There are so many questions when it comes to the sports card hobby, like how do I look for the cards that I want to buy? How do I buy the cards that I want without paying the highest price? How do I sell the cards that I don't want so that I don't become a hoarder like everybody else? And how do I curate a PC? The fact is that there are a ton of questions when it comes to the sports card hobby, and I discovered the answer to all of those questions after spending 40 years inside the hobby, buying and selling cards, as well as curating a PC. Would you like to know the answer? That's right. Would you like to know the secret to the sports card hobby?
It's a sports show every Friday, hot take, what's the market? Behind the scenes, from the car shows to the streets. There's only one show. There's only one show I wanna watch. EDI Sports Show every Friday.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Doc Schwartz, and this is the EDI Sports Show. We come to you every Friday right here on YouTube, talking about sports and sports cards. So if you have a question, hey, put it down in the comments and I will get to it. This week, we're talking about the number one answer to all of your questions. Yes, there's one secret answer that I discovered after 40 years inside the hobby, starting as a teenage sports card dealer and collecting for the last 4 decades. And so I'm going to give you what the answer is right now, but I'm then going to unpack it for you. So here you go. The answer is networking. That's right. That's the word that you need to know. Networking. Now, what does networking really mean? For those of you that are in business, then you probably know that networking means who you know, because that's kind of how you get ahead in life. The more people you know, the more opportunities that you have. And that's actually kind of the same thing in the sports card hobby. The more people you know, that means the more deals that you can get. If you know more dealers, you might be able to get a better price on cards. If you know more people that want to buy cards, then you have a market to sell to. Otherwise, you are reliant on basically going to eBay or going to social media or just going to a card show and hoping that you can sell your cards. Now, I had 8 million cards stuck in my parents' basement as well as a storage unit, and I just had way too much stuff, and so it was bigger than my network. But I still was able to sell a lot of cards because I had a network at the time. Now, when you move, sometimes that network kind of, fractures. So I moved from the East Coast to Arizona, and so most of the people that I know that like sports cards and they're into sports cards are on the East Coast. So I've had to do, for the last several years, I've actually had to build up my network again here on the West Coast or in the Southwest. And so that's what I've been doing slowly but surely over the last few years. And having a YouTube channel certainly doesn't hurt. Having social media doesn't hurt. And so I highly recommend, if you don't have any social media, I would recommend setting up one account on any social media platform, and that will be the way that you communicate with people in the hobby. So if you want to get an X account, get an X account. If you want an IG account, get an IG account. If you want to use Snapchat, use Snapchat. I don't think there's anything wrong with any one of the social media platforms. Again, choose the one that you like the most, but I would highly recommend choosing one that's more ubiquitous, meaning everyone uses it. So X, IG, Snapchat, those are the ones that I would recommend setting up, because that's the way that you can communicate with people who are in the hobby and start to build your own network. Now, if you want to use any of the things that I do right here, so if you're trying to sell your cards, actually DM me on either X or IG at EDI Sports Cards. Let me know, and I will actually start doing a segment where I start showing off your cards to sell. So it's only for people that want to sell your cards. Now, if you're a dealer or you're looking to buy collections or you're looking to buy cards in bulk, then sign up for this Google form. I already have a whole bunch of people signed up. Sign up for this Google form, and that way when people DM me saying, hey, I want to sell my cards, like a few weeks ago, I got someone who had 5,000 Pokemon cards. Now, I don't know very much about Pokemon, but Maybe you guys do. But what they can do is reach out to me, say, I have 5,000 cards that I'd like to sell. And if you are interested, sign up for the Google form and I will email you based on the answers you do in that Google form. I will email you or DM you and say, hey, I got somebody who has 5,000, 6,000 cards. This is the era. This is the manufacturer. This is what it is. Do you want to talk to them or not? And that's the way we can do networking together. Now, I don't know if you know this book, The Tipping Point, written by Malcolm Gladwell. This is a great book. And if you don't know this author, he was a writer and a journalist for The New Yorker for many, many years. He is a national New York Times bestseller more times than not. And this is the book, Tipping Point. And the chapter that I want you to be aware of is chapter 2, which is called The Law of the Few, Connectors, Mavens, and Salesmen. And the reason why I want to highlight that is because of the connector piece. So what this channel can do, EDI Sports Show and EDI Sports Cards, my DMs and this YouTube channel, what we can do together is be a connector to the hobby. So if you're a collector and you want to talk to dealers, you can come through this channel. If you're a dealer and you want to talk to people who have cards they want to sell, you can go through this channel. I also set up a Facebook group. I'm not really on Facebook all that much, unfortunately. I just don't really like Facebook, but I know that a lot of people use Facebook. So I set up a group on Facebook called Card Hoarder Nation. You can join that and you can also talk to people. But if you want me involved, my suggestion is to use my social media, X and IG. Those are the two platforms that I use the most. I post here on YouTube. I try to do as much as I can on IG. I only really use X for DMs and for keeping track of news. But that's what you guys should know, and that's what I want to come here to kind of tell you. So again, the secret to the sports card hobby is networking. That's the secret. And I hope that you get a lot out of this channel. So here we go. What I want to do before we get to Where's the Market, I want to highlight this week's Card of the Week. And here you go. Now let's take a look at this week's Card of the Week. This week's Card of the Week is Kirby Puckett's 1985 Topps rookie card. Kirby Puckett played 12 seasons with the Minnesota Twins from 1985 to 1995. He was a Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star, and won 2 World Series. Now let's check out Where's the Market. In this week's Where's the Market, I thought I would do another react video, this time to YouTuber Graded Card Investor. He has about 80,000 subscribers and he does a lot of good stuff, including these videos, which you're going to see. I'm going to have 2 clips, so you're going to see that. Before we get to there, I just want to do a preview for the next segment, which is behind the scenes. If you're interested in buying 1955 common cards, but they're part of a starter pack, basically they're high numbers, but they're close proximity cards. I'll show you in the next segment. But anyway, stay tuned for that. That's the next segment. But let's get to this clip right now.
So the 2003-2004 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection Noble Nameplates LeBron James Rookie Patch Autograph, serial numbered 1 out of 25, graded BGS 9.5, gem mint condition. Last 4 of the certification number is 4584. Same exact card, guys. I'm looking at here. This card sold on Golden Auctions August 6, 2022 for $139,200 with 23 bids, and 8 months later that buyer sold on PWCC Auctions May 26, 2023 for $51,600 for a loss of $87,600. This is a BGS population. Only 2 are graded 9.5.
Wow. That's, I mean, $87,000 loss. I mean, I can't explain it more than that. I mean, that's it. That's what you need to understand. These cards are not worth what you think they're worth. I've been saying that for months. These cards are not worth what you think they're worth. And here's the real data. Like, I don't have to give you guys like my opinion. This is it. This is raw data. And this is LeBron James. I mean, he's the biggest guy in basketball. He's the biggest sports star in the world. LeBron James, a loss of $87,000. All right, let's get to the second one because you're not going to believe this one. So this one is a Steph Curry. It's a colossal patch, and I'm going to let it run because you're not going to believe what happens on this card. All right, so here we go.
Of you Steph Curry fans, we have a massive discount on this insanely rare Steph Curry rookie card. RPA, guys. Rookie patch auto. This is a prime parallel. Serial number out of 5. Check this out. So a 2009-2010 Panini National Treasures Steph Curry colossal parallel prime. Serial number out of 5. Graded PSA 8. Near mint to mint condition. Sold at auction June 16th, 2022 on PWCC Marketplace for $23,400. That buyer proceeded to sell recently, June 14th, almost 1 year later, exactly 1 year later, on eBay by Cardboard Preacher with 62 bids ending at $9,975 for a loss of $13,425.
And if you were going to ask me what I think this card is worth, honestly, I would say it's worth closer to $5,000 or $6,000. So probably another $3,000 discount off of this card as well, even though it's a numbered 1 to 5 and it is a sick card. But that's actually why I think it's still worth maybe $5,000 to $6,000 is because it is a sick card. Like, you know, that's an unbelievable patch. You know, and it's numbered 1 to 5. It is a rookie patch auto, like you get the auto on it. But the problem is there's too many cards. I don't think anybody is really understanding that. The reason why the prices are coming down, the reason why your cards are not worth as much as you think they're worth is because there's too many cards. It doesn't matter that this is a numbered 1 to 5. It doesn't matter. There's so many parallels. There's so many numbered cards. There's so many options that because of the options, it lowers the price. There's too much competition. Back in the day, there was no competition. There was Topps, there's Bowman, that was it. That was all you had. So, I mean, in Fleer, you know, Fleer didn't really print a lot of cards and nobody really wanted Fleer. So they were around. They started in the 60s. Nobody cared about them. Like, I need you guys to understand there was no competition. Therefore, that's why vintage is different than modern. That's why. Because there was no competition in the vintage market. You're just competing player to player. So which player do people want? And that's what they collect. In modern, you now have to actually compete against which is the set, which is the parallel, which is the numbered card, which is the rookie card, which is the patch card. Like, there's too many options. Therefore, it puts price pressure on the cards. That's it. That's the end of Where's the Market on this. So hopefully you guys liked it. Let's get to behind the scenes. What I like about this segment is that I get a chance to let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. And so professionally, what I do is a lot of consulting and I work with different businesses. I also work with schools. I actually discovered the solution to fix the K-12 crisis in America. But that's just something that I did. But I also work with small businesses. And last week, I broadcast on location from the Arizona State Summer Show in Mesa, Arizona. I am actually working with the company that runs that show, and that is called Collectibles on College. We're going to get to that in a second. I'm going to show you that. We ran an entire show for the weekend, so that was Saturday and Sunday. There were over 3,000 people that came. Again, it was like 115 degrees in Arizona. Yeah, it was brutally hot. But again, more than 3,000 people showed up and enjoyed it. I actually went live on Fox News to promote the show. It's just something that I'm really good at. It's 21st century communication skills. But before we get there, I wanted to actually let you guys know about these 1955 common cards. Now, what they're worth, and I've actually done a whole video on what commons are worth from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s to modern. And so when you go way back into the early days of cards, these commons, they're not super expensive, but they're also not dollar cards anymore. So 55 is one of the most popular sets in the hobby. But other than that, this is one of the most popular sets. There are a number of rookie cards. It has every superstar except for Mickey Mantle, because he had a contract dispute way back in the day with Topps, and so he was not in either the 54 or the 55 set. So he has a 52, a 53, and then a 56. So again, those are just the little tidbits of the hobby. But these are the cards that I'm selling, and I'm going to show them to you. But then what I'm going to do is in the graphic right here, I'm going to show you what the numbers are of these cards. Now, these are high numbers for the 1955 set. And the reason that I want to show you the high numbers is because when you're trying to build a set, you actually have to know the checklist. And so the key is to basically be on, to know the numbers and to build the set based on the numbers. So these common cards, you may not know the names of these players, but the point is that these are the numbers. And so here we go. It's the numbers I'm going to list right here. So 162, 163, 169, 170, 171, 172, 173, 181, 184, and 207. So again, the point of this as a starter pack, again, a starter pack is something that actually puts more of the set together for you. Instead of having to go buy individual cards and try to hunt them down, this starter pack kind of gives you a head start on building this set. And the reason for doing a starter pack is that it is more value to you. So these cards are around $18 to $20 each if you were to buy them individually. Therefore, this pack, which is 10 cards, should cost you between $180 and $200. And I mean, it's not anything to write home about. It's not going to break the bank. But what I am doing is I'm selling this pack for $175. So that's $17.50 per card. But again, remember, it's a starter pack. Now, if you want this, or if you have an offer for this pack, please DM me right here on Instagram or on X. Let me know, and maybe we can make a deal on that. All right, now let's get to behind the scenes, which is what I did last week at the Arizona State Card Show. I want to show you the kids trade night that I hosted. That was on Saturday afternoon from 4 to 7. The kids did amazing. It was awesome, and we're looking to do another kids trade night in the fall at the Phoenix Convention Center. Those dates are November 8, 9, and 10, so it'll probably be, again, probably Saturday afternoon. Point being is that this was an awesome thing. No other card show in the country is doing a kids-only trade night. There are kids trade nights throughout the country in card shops, but no other card show is doing a kids trade night only. You can see the kids had their own display case. They put their cards in. They acted like their own dealers. They didn't have to pay for anything. It was all free. Basically let them have use of these display cases for free. We set it up and the kids had a blast, and as you can see, it was filled. We didn't have any room for any more kids to come, which is great because that's what you want to see. The parents all stood with me. We had conversations about who was the best player back in the day. Again, our back in the day is different from, baby boomers back in the day. So back in the day for me is really the late 80s and early 90s. If we had some grandparents and baby boomers, they probably would have been talking about the 50s and the 60s. That's what we had going on. If you want to get in touch with me, like I said, DM me, let me know what's going on. And now we're going to get to the best part of the show, which is your viewer comments. It is time for your viewer comments, my favorite part of the show. I have so many comments to go through, so I'm actually going to do 7 in this show. Please keep making your comments, and if you have questions, please put them down in the comment section. So let's get to the first one because I've got a whole bunch and I don't want to take up too much time. So this one is from A Parisi 1, and he says, yes, it's always cheaper to just buy the card you want. The odds of getting the big hit are so improbable. Just read the odds on the box. And that is from that other show that I did. Actually, it's a react video to Ty honestly saying that you're wasting your money if you buy modern wax.
I don't know what I was thinking.
And you are. Pretty clear at this point. And honestly, I don't want to say that I started the trend, but I started talking about this months ago, that you shouldn't buy wax, and now every single influencer is doing exactly what I said not to do. They are going and showing you that wax is no longer a viable product. Even Sportscard Investor just did a video. They got 30,000 views on the fact that you cannot make money with buying sports cards from Walmart and Target.
I definitely don't recommend buying Prism draft picks.
Which I don't know about you, but I think Sportscard Investor is doing that purposely because he wants you to buy it from his Cards HQ. He doesn't want you to go to Walmart and Target. So anyway, just be careful who you get your information from. Next comment comes from Trepidation34, and he says, picking up the cards in 12 months applies to the mainstream cards that aren't rare. The super tough cards aren't falling in value to the degree of the boring Joe Montana rookie, fill in the blank on the rest. I'm going to push back a little bit on that to say that, first of all, I don't know what cards you think are rare, but I guarantee you're not on the rare list. There's a list of rare cards, and quite honest with you, those are not up for sale. So it doesn't matter what you think they're worth, you can't buy them. They're not up for sale. The cards that we're talking about are the cards that you can buy. So I want everyone who's listening to this really get their minds wrapped around this concept. We're talking about cards you can buy, not cards that are in the ether that in your mind are like, well, they're always going to be worth a lot of money. No. They're not worth a lot of money. They're valuable, yes, but they're not worth millions of dollars. There's only a couple cards that are worth millions of dollars, and that's it. A couple cards. Everything else is worth less than $1 million. So my point being is that all the cards are coming down. Yes, even vintage is coming down. Now, again, percentage-wise, I don't know what percentage they're coming down, but they're all coming down. And as unemployment ticks up, and you guys are going to see this over the next 2 weeks, when the jobs number comes out in September, okay, which will probably be about mid-September, when that number comes out as to what the jobs are in August, you guys are going to start learning about panic. Sell your cards now. It's all I can tell you is sell them now. Don't wait. You're supposed to buy low and sell high. Now's the high time. Sell them now. All right, let's get to the next comment. Bobby West 8460. He says, truth is a hard pill for most to swallow in this hobby. Whoa, Bobby, I am agreeing with you 100%. You are absolutely correct. People just don't like to know the truth. And it's not that they don't want to know it. It's just that it doesn't make them happy. That's it. What people want to hear, which is why politicians lie to us all the time, is because people want to hear good things. People don't want to hear negative news. Unfortunately, the truth sometimes is negative. It's not always negative. Sometimes the truth is positive. It's like 50-50. It's yin and yang. But when the truth becomes negative, everyone tunes out. And that's the problem. When the truth gets negative, everyone tunes out because no one wants to hear bad news. And so that's the problem. And so hopefully if you're subscribed, you're going to get 50% of the negative news and you're going to get 50% of the positive news. And the reason is because I tell the truth. So when the truth is positive, you're going to get positive. When the truth is negative, you're going to get negative. People like to say that I'm a negative person because I tell the truth when it's negative and nobody wants to hear the negative truth. And that's it. That's all it comes down to. So I want to thank you, Bobby West. That was a great comment. We're going to get to the next one. We only got a few more to go, so stay with me here. So David Johnson, 6554, he said, "You're lost, bro." Okay, thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Appreciate the comment. Appreciate the sub. Hopefully you will have something more to say in the next video. I don't know. Like when you watch this one, how about make a statement? Instead of just saying you're lost, say you're lost because I would have rather known why you think I'm lost. But okay, there's nothing I can do. He just says I'm lost. All right, here we go. Next one, user. All right, this is a Google person who doesn't want to know anybody knows who they are. "I don't collect for the dollar, so I really don't care if cards crash. I hope they all come down. I've been collecting my whole life. I'd never sell my collection. It's not about the money for me." I'm gonna stop right here because this comment is really good because it addresses everyone that's watching this channel. So first of all, I want to make my perspective very clear. I do not hope the sports card market crashes. It's not my hope. I don't want cards to go down. That's not what I'm hoping for. That's not what I want. I don't want your collections to go to zero. That's not what I want. But I can't deny the truth. And the point is that the cards are coming down in value. And the reason is because of the macroeconomics. The economy is coming down. Inflation is high. Prices are high. Price of eggs is $8 to $9 for a dozen eggs. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money. And it was half that a year and a half ago. I mean, you could buy a dozen eggs for $4. Now it's $9. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. So my point being is all the extra money that used to go into buying cards is now going to buy food and to pay for rent and to pay for medical bills and to pay for regular expenses. You have to pay for your cell phone. If you got, YouTube, you have to pay for internet. So my point being is that there's no more extra money that's going into sports cards. And because of that, all of the normal sales that were happening over the boom period, the pandemic from 19 to 21, those are gone. And because the volume is down, now the prices are coming down. The other piece that I like about this comment is I'm not selling my collection. Well, I don't know how old you are, obviously, and I'm just gonna say this. You may not want to sell your cards, but you shouldn't collect a hoard, because when you give away your cards to your next of kin, to your spouse, to your grandkids, to your nieces and nephews, trust me, they don't want your hoard. So my point is that you should start paring down, start curating your PC to something that's more manageable so that you can enjoy it, you can show it off, you can go to a card show, if you can put it into one case, that's great. If not, if it's a little bit bigger, and if you have more expensive cards, obviously you don't want to be carrying them around in a case. But my point being is that you don't want to transfer your hoard to the next generation. Please don't do that. So many people are posting on Reddit that I see every day. I inherited these cards. I have 700,000 cards. Some guy posted an entire room of cards and he thinks that it's worth, again, at $1 each. So I have a $700,000 collection. And it's like, no, you don't. I don't know at what level you think that you have a collection that's worth $700,000, but you don't. It's probably worth $20,000 to $25,000 in total, which is part of the problem because it's a hoard, and a hoard is not worth anything. A collection is worth something. If you have 100 of the best cards, or just 100 cards that have value, you're going to be able to get all the value out of those cards, because no one's going to come in and be able to undercut you. They're going to be like, all right, I'll give you 85% of comps or 90% of comps, because they're really valuable cards and there's only 100 of them. That's a curated PC that's going to have and retain a lot of value. Once you start getting into the thousands and thousands of cards, you're creating a hoard, and a hoard isn't worth any money. It's just the way it is. I had a hoard. I had 8 million cards. It was a hoard. And so what was it worth individually? Yeah, it was worth around $100,000. What could I sell it for? I had to sell it for way less than that. I couldn't sell it for 90% of value. I couldn't sell it for 80% of value. I couldn't even sell it for 70% of value. And the reason is because it was just too much. And only a certain amount of people are going to take that kind of bulk. That's what you need to understand. When you have 5,000 count boxes and you have multiple of them, 5,000 count boxes, folks, that's a hoard. That's not a collection. That's a hoard. So unless you have a store, which if you have a store, then that's fine. That's your inventory. But if you don't have a store and you're just a collector, you're not a collector. You're a hoarder. So just be aware of that. I understand you're like, oh, I'm just going to keep buying and buying and buying and buying. No, that's a wrong idea. You should start selling off the cards that are not meaningful to you now. Now's the time to sell your cards. Go to a card shop. Go to the local card shop. Put it in Google search, okay? Put in local card shop. And then go to the local card shop and say, here you go, I have all these cards, how much will you give me? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be shocked at the prices that they're valuing your cards at. You're gonna be like, oh, I thought they were worth way more than that. None of you, if you're not selling cards, you don't know what your cards are worth. If you're not selling your cards, you don't know what they're worth. And I recommend for everybody following this channel to go start selling some cards. Not to get rid of the cards that you love, not to get rid of the PC that you have, but start selling cards so you understand what cards are really valued. There's a lot of people making comments on this channel that don't seem to know what cards are worth because you're not selling anything. Once you sell cards, then you know what cards are worth. That's the end of the story. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. All right, let's get to the next comment. We got 2 to go. So this one and then the following one. So here we go. This is what the Bargain Boxer, hey, I love that name. All right, the Bargain Boxer. This is what he had to say. Was he right or was he wrong? He was wrong. The data shows that he is wrong. All right, so that was on my video of is the market going up or down? Unfortunately, Bargain Boxer, I don't know what data you're looking at. So if you have some data to show me, please, because you're wrong. Like I've done weeks and weeks of showing you the data. I just did it in this video with the graded card investor doing a react of all the cards that are coming down. He has way more cards that have come down in value. You can check Card Ladder, you can check Market Movers if that's what you pay for. I don't recommend it, but if that's what you're doing, you could go to 130 Point and also check your cards. Sportscard Pro. All of these places have the ability to show you what the cards are selling for, what they're worth. They're all showing to the downside. All of them. That's the data. I don't know what data you're looking at other than the fantasies you have in your brain, but you're the one that's wrong, and that's why you're having difficulty, because you're overpaying for your cards. Again, we all overpay for cards, but I don't want you to overpay that much. I don't want you to waste $100 on a card that's only worth $50. If it's worth $50, you should pay between $50 to $70. That's what you should pay. If you really want it, you gotta pay $70. You gotta pay up. I did that on a Doc Gooden Auto. I had to pay up. So it was worth $20, I paid $25. $5 more because there was no other way I was gonna get it. There was no other way I was gonna get it. So you have to sometimes pay up to get cards. I'm telling you that, I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you the truth. The problem is that all of your cards, every single card is coming down, including the 1952 Mickey Mantle card. It's coming down. Now, it's not gonna come down a lot. The PSA 10 is worth around 20 million. What's it going to be worth in a year? I would say it's probably going to be worth 18 to 19 million. So it'll come down $1 million. That's a lot of money. Again, percentage wise, it's not that big a deal, but it's not going to be worth more than $20 million because no one's going to have the money for it. And these are collectibles, not assets. These are collectibles, not assets. And nobody wants to pay $25 million for a baseball card unless they're smoking something. Let's get to the last comment, and here we go. So, and I don't know how to pronounce this, so we're going to do Keolaha. I don't know. Somebody please give me a pronunciation for this. This sounds like it may be Hawaiian. I don't know, but I don't know. I can't pronounce this. So anyway, this account, Wax has always been a part of the fun of the hobby. Yes, it's normally a waste of money. I'll buy a couple Wax every year just to get the opening itch out of the way. But then I'll buy singles. Had a good buy this year with 2 Wemby rookies and some other decent basketball rookies, but generally it's like buying a lottery ticket. Here's what I want to say to this comment, because this is the question with everyone that's in the hobby right now, the modern people in the hobby. There's 2 camps. There's the vintage camp and then the modern camp. And if you're in the modern camp, this is for you. Wax is a complete waste of money. They have jacked up the prices on Wax, therefore it's not actually worth it anymore. It's got nothing to do with the chase cards. It's got nothing to do with the lottery. It's got nothing to do with the sweepstakes. It's got to do with the price of the Wax. Wax boxes were not this expensive back in the day. Forget about the fact that there were no sweepstakes back in the day and it didn't matter. You just opened a box and you just got cards. Today, it's all about a sweepstakes. Today, it's all about a lottery ticket. Here's the problem. An actual lottery ticket costs you $2. These boxes cost you way more than that. And the problem is that they're not worth the sweepstakes. The lottery isn't worth it. I understand that the big influencers are doing bounties. I understand that. Jeff Wilson and Ken Golden are battling each other for bounties on cards. Guess what? Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It's a lottery ticket that will never pay off. You're paying too much for the lottery. That's all. That's all you need to understand is you're paying too much for the lottery. So if you're looking to get cards, unfortunately, this is the wrong way to do it. If you're looking to open up Wax, unfortunately, you're paying too much for Wax. You actually are better off just holding off and getting it in the secondary market because the prices are coming down in the secondary market. After they go to Walmart, after they go to Target, and people buy them up because they think they can sell them back to someone else, that's when they're realizing, oh my God, I just spent too much money. And now they're cheaper on eBay. They're cheaper everywhere else. In the secondary market, all of these Wax boxes are cheaper. So you don't go to Walmart and Target. Don't buy retail because they're going to be worth less. You probably could save $5 to $10 per Wax box by going to eBay or going to your card show or going to a card shop. $49 for a Topps Chrome Blaster box is insane. It's not somebody saying, oh, it's too expensive. It's not. It's just there's no value. There's no value. It is a sweepstakes. You're buying a lottery ticket, and $49 for a lottery ticket is insane. You're better off spending $49 at an actual casino. You have more odds to actually win money. And then with the extra winnings, you could go buy cards with the winnings, and you still had fun gambling. So that's my point. My point is that you need to stop wasting your money. What is a blaster box actually worth? It's worth $30. It's worth $30. You gotta be hearing it from me that no box back in the day was $30. It was at most was $20. I understand that you want to buy Wax. I understand. I did a video trying to give recommendations to Fanatics as to how to restructure their retail product. Again, based on segmentation of the market, that you need to have an entry-level product, you need to have a mid-level product, you need to have a high-end product. That's the way retail works. If you don't have the different price points, then you're not hitting the market the correct way. And Fanatics is not hitting the market the correct way, and that's the issue. So maybe I'll dive deep into that as we get into the fall. Maybe I'll do more videos on what Fanatics should do, maybe how they're misallocating their product, labeling it and mispricing it. But for right now, that's it. I want to thank, again, this commenter. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name. I don't even want to butcher it. I want to thank everybody for joining me. This is another week gone by. EDI Sports Show. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. Watch the entire playlist. We now have like 15 hours worth of shows. Go back, watch them all, and I will see you next week. I want to thank you for joining me this week. EDI Sports Show. We're here every single Friday talking about sports and sports cards. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe right now. If you have a question or a comment, put it down below. This is Doc saying I'll see you next week.
There's only one show. There's only one show I wanna watch. EDI Sports Show every Friday. From interviews and card news to the sports behind the scenes, only one show covers the deeds. EDI Sports Show. There's only one show. There's only one show.